name is Garth, otherwise known as Big G.
My name is Richie Blackford.
Mrs. Griffiths would have been very proud of our daughter, Marcia, even though she reluctantly allowed her into the music business. Marcia went.
Yeah. All we need to do is to recognize that if we put investment in, we are revitalizing communities. How we deal with small man, and so the sound system start to come up. The sound system was the small man entertainment. And
in Nimitelo, Toots, Mr. Frederick Hibbert himself, and the Matos.
His mother, Prince Buster, had his imprint all over it, you know. And
Sundays come here.
Good afternoon. It's another afternoon, Sunday afternoon in sunny South Florida. And it's a holiday weekend. So Richie, you ready for the weekend or the weekend ready for you? Which one?
Listen, I'm there and the weekend will come. I'm always there, so the weekend will come and go and left me.
All right, boss. Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, little dogs, animals, and pets, we have in store for you a ska legend. Him the last. Everybody know him, Roy Panton. And I can tell you one thing about Roy. When you look at him catalog, you see him have a whole heap of friends. Millie, Patsy, Yvonne, Eric, Carnell. So it's a man who don't believe in singing alone. And we're going to kick it off with one of his hit songs, Song of the Century. This is a song where they use in a sound killing. Because I know a little man around the corner there so who did use a tune at one time. And trust me, turn over the place with it. So here goes.
I am that I am, the mighty ruler. I am that I am, the mighty ruler. Oh, I am that I am, the mighty ruler. As it is said that no one can rule a ruler. Oh, yes, oh, I am that I am, the mighty ruler. They try, yes, they try to keep me down. But here I sit upon my Father's throne. As it is written in the book, do not leave people you love. Oh, that's why I will forever be the ruler. What God bless, my friend, no man curse in the end. I shall last to the end. 'Cause from him I was descended to be the true and living ruler. Oh, no, no, no one can ever fool or rule this ruler. What God bless, my friend.
such a young boy.
This
Man
is
look
a-
younger than me to write it.
This is a voice, Richie, that hit the sweet spot. And you know what that sweet spot is?
Yeah.
It is right between tenor and baritone.
Well, listen, hold on, before we go any further. Roy, welcome to
to Sunday Scoops. Sir.
I really
we're not hearing
appreciate
you.
it.
Are
Yeah.
you hearing us?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay,
man.
perfect.
Yeah, man.
Listen, if I had never known better, I would have think says your younger brother beside you for the show.
You have a little twin on the
Yeah.
corner.
A younger twin.
Do me a favor, move over to your left a little bit.
Okay.
Because
Move over.
we're losing him. Oh,
You're losing me. Okay. How about this?
No, it's a
The
little
other
bit
way,
more.
a little
The other
more.
way. The other left. Yes.
perfect.
Perfect.
There
Yeah,
you
man.
go.
Yeah,
No, you're going too far.
You're going too far.
How about this?
All right. Yes. Right there, sir.
Absolutely. No, come a little bit more. We
Okay.
want to the people and for seeing us. So a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
there you
yeah,
go.
man. Yeah,
there
man.
you go.
That's good. It's
No,
because
right,
when
that tune we just played a while ago have some special significance to me because
Yeah.
I am not a DJ like my erstwhile co-host here,
Right,
but I
right.
do turn a little tune every now and then. And
Right.
One day somebody invite me to play some music. A man challenged me to play some music. Him don't know that me have a little music in and I told him. So
Right.
I said, all right, no problem. And on the night in question, the man come with about 40,000 tune, you know.
Yeah.
And I draw that tune upon him, the mighty ruler. Well, I tell you, him dead immediately. The audience knows say him dead. And that is a tune coming from my young boy days, is a sound killing tune. You know?
Yeah.
When I started to follow the music in the 70s and the 80s, that tune was known for a tune that kill our sound. But let me use the opportunity to welcome you again to Sunday Scoop.
Thanks for having me.
I must point out to our listeners, just a quick reminder, July 1st was celebrated as International Reggae Day.
Okay.
And I'm getting a feedback. So International Reggae Day, and as a consequence, the organizers use the opportunity to celebrate the role that ska played in
Right.
terms of the development of Jamaican music. And for that and multiple other reasons, we here at Sunday Schools are happy to have you, one of the original ska aficionados on our program today. And we're going to have a conversation, an interview. We want to talk about you, the music, the origin, your own perspective as far as
Right.
is developed. No, you're going to leave again.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
good,
man.
right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Not so good. You're going to the other side.
I can't
All
seem
right.
to get it
You're
right.
going to fix it. Don't worry yourself. We're good.
Okay.
So,
Good.
Mighty Ruler, as I pointed out, a big draw, but Roy Panton has a ton load of tunes. And just to get us started off, I want to go back to the beginning, Roy. You started in the singing business just about when?
Well, the first time I entered a studio was in about 1958. And
Right,
that was with...
You know that you weren't around those times, right?
I was around. I was swimming around
he was being
in a very
he was
dark
being
place.
taught up. He was being taught up. Yeah, and he was being taught up. That was my first time in a studio.
Right.
And that was with Stranger, also Stranger first time. What happened? We had a group called the Rovers, and Stranger was the person responsible for that group.
Right.
And that's a Stranger Call, right?
Yeah, Stranger Call. It had 4 of us, and I don't remember exactly the other 2 members. And the reason why is because Stranger and I stuck together on record. We recorded a song for Duke Reed, and the reason why, prior to that, we were going around trying to get somebody to record for, but it didn't work out. Anyway, Stranger went to Duke, and Duke said to him, If you can write a song with freedom in it, I would record it." And the reason why Duke Reed said that is because Clancy, there was other song out at the time, Freedom, that he recorded for Coxsone. It's a covered song because Nina Simone did it original. And that song was really lighting up the place. It wasn't a ska, it was a semi-beat line, you know. Anyways, Duke Reed said to Stranger, "If you can write a song with freedom in it, I'll record it." Now, this is before ska. So Stranger did write the song, and the title of the song is Freedom Land. Flip side, Adam and Eve. So it happens that we recorded the song for Duke Reed, and later on I saw the label says Wilburn and Roy, because you know Wilburn is Stranger Cole first name. Stranger is like a nickname or a pet name, as we say in Jamaica. Right. So we recorded the song, but we didn't hear anything about it. I don't even remember if we got paid for it. But I remember one who was on it, brass wise. It was Rico, trombone, and Braginier, saxophone. At the time, those were how can I say no? Those were the more popular players.
Right.
You know.
You're talking about Rico Rodriguez.
Rico Rodriguez, yeah.
Right. Charlie Organier. Did he play on that?
Charlie Organier, yeah. The guys that were around in those days, in the 50s, were like John Bago, this guy that plays the saxophone, we call him Slim or something like that. Anyways, he played a heavy saxophone. Raymond Harper and trumpet. Judge Jerry and guitar. Easy Snapping, Theophilus Beckford. Those were the guys that I remember seeing when I just started out. So after we recorded that song, Come and Hold My, well, Duke Reed changed it to Come and Hold My Hand because we were performing in Germany at one time. I am skipping ahead. And a guy came up to me and said, he has a song with myself and Stranger. I said, I can't tell you about it because I have to hear it to know if it's me. So anyways, he sent me a digital copy when I got home. And there it was. But Duke Reed changed it to Come and Hold My Hand from Freedom Land. So I sent a copy to Stranger, and you know, we were both excited because that was our first record. It's a bit primitive, you know, but that was our first recording.
Now,
and
I noticed you know, because a lot of the music that you did, especially in those early years, were essentially duets.
Or duos.
You performed as a duo with a number of other performers. Stranger Cole, as you said, was one of the early people, and of course, you said that group, the Rovers, they never saw much light of day after that. Am I correct?
No, we did one appearance at the Valley.
Yeah.
And then changed to Queens Theatre and Spanish Town Road. But that was it. And that's how Stranger and I alone recorded. And then after that, then we decided to do singles. And we couldn't get any recording done, at least speaking for myself. So Monty came along and I teamed up with Monty.
That's Monty Morris.
Monty Morris, yeah.
Eric Monty Morris.
Yeah. And we did some songs for Duke Reed. I think we did about 3 songs for Duke Reed. But the situation was like this, where you record first and you have to wait to get paid. And sometimes you get paid. Sometimes you don't get paid. You go to the studio, you record and say, well, check me tomorrow, or check me at the end of the week, right? So during that time, I would sell soft wax, as we call it, you know, to make some extra money. And I remember taking wax from Duke Reed and other, promoters, and I'm selling. But it so happened that I use up some of the money, the Duke Reed money. But at the same token, he owes me too, right?
Yeah.
So this is after Monty and I recorded for him. So I was used to hide and pass because I live at Chestnut Lane, a block away from him. He's at Bond Street and Charles Street. And I'm at Chestnut Lane, just not at Charles Street.
So you have to pass the store to go home.
Well, I really don't have to because I can go up to North Street. But
that's down the road.
Right, it's a Shottonville pass. Or I can go straight out Chestnut Lane to Beeston Street.
Right.
But anyways, I decided that I'm tired of hiding, right? So I'm passing, and I said, Mr. Reed, he says, come here. So I went over. He says, what about the money that you have for me? So I said, well, I kind of use some of it. But I tell you what, Mr. Reed, seeing that you have some money for me, we can quit some of it out. So he says to me, no, you bring my money and settle with me. And then I settle with you. And that's why I didn't go back to
Hey, hold on a second.
So never back him gun.
Hold on. He never back him gun after you, guys. I'm on the famous back him gun,
No. He was an intimidator, but if he knows that you're scared of him. But at the same token, I live in the same area.
Oh, so
not listening. A lot of his bad men are my friends, like people like Panton, because I used to be regular down the lane, and those guys were like his henchmen, Dapper Dan, Phantom, and some other guys. So I was friendly with them too. But at the same time, I was a little bit timid where he's concerned because of the gun in his waist.
Well, listen, let us touch a couple pieces of those songs he did with Eric Monty Morris. I know God has a few lined up on the turntable. God, over to you.
this I ask of you. Yours divine, please be mine forever. As I sleep, in my dreams you slowly creep, having my nights so haunted and days so blue. Yes, it's true, crying over you. To be mine would be so kind, I could stay. I spend my days for you. You are my heaven, girl of my dreams. My heart aches for you, girl of my dreams. This I ask of you. Yours divine, please be mine forever. Jenny, you know I love you so, and I will never let you go until the stars stop shining now, right down into our love. I need you oh so bad to be my one and only queen. I know that you will make me glad so that our lives begin. I want a loving baby to love me all the time. Get it? When I'm with you, I think the world is mine. Get it? You know I love you so, and I will never let you go until the stars stop shining now, right down into our love.
Yeah, that was She's Mine Since You Left Me, Girl of My Dreams, and Jenny.
You look like you never expect us to find them tune there, right?
Yeah, well, those songs weren't just recorded for one promoter.
Right.
Three different promoters. Duke Reed was the first, Beverly, Leslie Kong second, Coxon third.
Right.
But we did more songs for Duke and Beverly. Monty and I did only one song for Cox and Jenny.
Since You Left Me.
Since You Left Me was Duke Reed. We did Since You Left Me, Sweetie Pie, and Since You Left Me, Sweetie Pie, and another song or two, I don't remember. But Sweetie Pie and Since You Left Me got played more. And then when we went to Beverly, Leslie Kong, well, we didn't go because back then promoters, we used to hang out on Orange Street.
Right.
Because when promoters want to
Street.
record any artist, the Beat Street, they come to Orange Street looking for artists. So it's like a job, you get up in the morning, you go Orange Street, and you're there for most of the day. Right. So that's how we recorded for Beverly. We were the first artists, along with Jimmy Cliff, recorded for Beverly and the Beverly label. And that was about 60, no later than 61.
Now, one of the things that is, and for the listeners especially, because this wasn't ska, right?
No.
We tend to overlook the fact that Jamaican musicians, singers like yourself, were actually producing other types of music. Blues and jazz, R&B were significant at the time. And I just want to ask you, Roy, you have a thing on because I get no feedback. I don't know if it's from your end.
No. Oh, no, I don't have anything on.
Right.
I thought
Anyway.
it was on,
So what we want the listeners to understand, because a lot of this music that is coming out here were largely Jamaican blues, Jamaican R&B. You know, it over time it kind of picked up that shuffle drive that that basically
Later.
turned into ska, right? But a lot of this music, that late 1950s, early 1960s, wasn't yet ska music. Something else I wanted to point out, because there's one of the songs you played had a nice big, a very round congo, a nice drum feel. I remember when Prince Buster brought in Count Ozzy into Carolina, and I'm getting back that same beat. What was the song, God?
Since you left me.
Since you left me.
Since You Left Me.
Yeah, with Ozzy. Count Ozzy, wasn't it?
It was Count
But
Ozzy
not-
playing on that.
Count Ozzy, yeah, but not as pronounced as Carolina.
Right,
Because
right,
Carolina, it was old drum set.
right.
But Count Ozzy played a little in it, you know, and you can hear it along with Bragginier and Rico.
Right. So again, just want, because what we're trying to do here, Roy, is a lot of this history, the history relating to this part of our music is
Clouded.
undocumented,
And it's
right?
clouded.
As you, Roy, would have said, it kind of cloudy in the studio. Most people don't have no clue what was going on, and so on.
Right.
And so having you here provides us with an opportunity to sort of set that record straight and to give the credit, especially where it's deserved, because a lot of the times we tend to focus on the singer per se, but we never look at the musicians behind. And
Right.
The opportunity now presents itself where we are able to clear up some of those gray areas. But certainly this was the period where the music is moving away from us playing North American R&B to Jamaicans creating this R&B song. And as you pointed out, a lot of this music too wasn't commercially available. Am I correct?
Yeah. Well,
Right.
we kind of branded Boogie Woogie because we were trying to copy the style of the Americans. Obviously, we
Right.
couldn't copy it as good as they played it. So we kind of played it in our style. But that's the only thing we knew, the American music.
Right.
So we used to listen to the American music a lot, yes, and the musicians, and we wrote songs because for myself, if I knew then what I know now, I would have covered a lot of songs. But we were trying to write songs to record,
Right.
because if you can write a song and record, obviously you get more money for it than if you
If you
sing
do a
somebody.
cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you made a
But
point. You said something you said a while ago. If you knew then,
If
what
I
you
knew then what I
you
know
do
now,
more
yeah.
covers. What was that?
Oh, yeah. I would definitely do more covers because I found out later on that a lot of artists did a lot of covers. And I didn't realize there were American songs they covered until, maybe in the 70s, 80s.
Mhm.
Because a lot of Delroy songs are covered, a lot of John Old song covered,
Mhm.
a lot of Alton song covered.
Well, but they were covering those especially as partially during that Rocksteady era. We're up on a break,
Yes.
Roy. Gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna come right back, and we will continue the conversation from there.
Listen,
Okay.
everyone can use a little pick-me-up. And when it's that time, reach for a bottle of Zion Organic Roots, made from all natural ingredients. Zion Roots in ginseng, tiger balm, bedroom bully is the natural alternative. Zion Roots is available at all local restaurants and Caribbean stores. Visit our website at zionrootsorganic.com or call 954-588-5203. Zion Roots, the natural alternative.
Send money back home this tax season with JN Money. Now you can send money to any bank account in Jamaica and get 10% off your transaction fees. Plus, send money to a JN Money card or even pay bills in Jamaica. This tax season, there's so much you can do when you send money back home with JN Money.
Licensed as a money transmitter by the Banking Department of the State of Florida and Georgia.
Jamaica, the home of authentic reggae music and reggae wear. Reggae wear, the gear for any occasion. Reggae wear, stylish. Reggae gear, fashionable, authentic garments, the rhythm of Jamaica. Wrap yourself in the warmth of reggae wear. Get your reggae gear today. Visit www.yardmedia.com. Capture the rhythm of Jamaica in reggae wear. Vibrant colors for spring, summer, fall, and winter. Visit our website www.yardmedia.com and get your reggae gear today.
We are back, and Roy, again, you were explaining what was happening at the time, in terms of, you know, doing the music for commercial purposes as well as music that you guys were marketing for yourselves. At a different time, the place was different. A lot of singers were coming through the woodwork, if I remember. According to the scribes, the talent shows were basically putting out a lot of youngsters who had gone on. Veer Johns, for example, was you know, the sort of the incubator for a lot of that talent. And maybe it's a good opportunity to ask you that question. Did you ever go on any of those shows?
No, I never appeared on those shows, but I attended theaters. I was aware of them, and I attended theaters.
Give us a feel for what transpired at one of those talent shows, Roy.
Well, let me start off by saying the guys that were considered superb were like Wayne Gray, Lascelles Perkins, Roy Fuller, Wilfred Jackie Edwards, Ed Charles or something like that. I don't remember his first name, or his last name, I should say. Just to name a few, but those were prominent. Bunny and Scully also. So they became guest artists on the show because nobody could really override them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Those guys were well established. So you had amateurs going on and so on and so forth. And how they would do it, the 4 guys go up and perform. When you finish perform, they would have a handkerchief going down the line for first prize and hold the handkerchief and the people clap or whatever. And according to the reaction, that's how they determine who win.
Right.
So if you are from that area, it doesn't matter how you perform, you're gonna win.
Because you bring your own crowd.
Right. Majority of people gonna cheer for you because of that. You're gonna buy soda or beer. You know, because I think the winning prize was something like 30 shilling or something like that. You know,
30 shilling enough money, could I buy a house to that?
£1.10.
30 shilling was money that a lot of people get paid weekly.
Right, exactly.
No doubt about it. This is why for us, because for us, when we record, both sides, we would get 30 shilling. I'm speaking for myself. One side, 15 shilling. Like, I remember recording a song for Coxon, Lolita. And he wrote the song, and John Root was supposed to sing it. But John Root didn't come through the day. So he said to me, "You want to sing?" So I said, "Yes." So I sang it for him. And because this is a song, he gave me 7 shilling 50 pence.
Yeah. 7 and 6.
Yes, 7. Right. You know.
So because him write the song, him take half of the money for himself then.
Yeah. And I didn't consider it any different, you know.
Yeah.
Because back then nobody knew anything about royalty or anything like that. You record, you just want the money right away, or the next day, That's how it used to be.
So let me ask you this. A singer comes to the studio with a song. The lyrics for the song is there. The whoever the studio musicians are, they find a key and then present the song. Correct?
Yeah.
Who pay the musician out of that?
No, the promoter pay the musician.
Oh, but you get your 30 shilling for the song. Yeah, 15 shilling.
15 shilling if it's one side.
If it's one side.
Or if it's two sides, yeah, you get 30 shillings.
So if you do a double recording, it seems to suggest that you don't want to go there with two big tunes to record on the same day.
Well, if you have it, you want to, because you want to record. And if you have two good songs, bomb, you're going to get record for sure.
So
you never really look at it and say,
yeah, go ahead.
And I say you never really look at it to say, well, I'm going to save my best song for another side. You're trying to make money. So if you can come up with two great songs, you're sure to record. But then it depends on what the promoter like too, eh? You might think it's a great song, promoter don't like it.
All right, so here is where I'm heading. I remember talking with Derek Harriott, and he said, in fact, he spoke specifically to a song, Lollipop Girl, that he did with Charlie Sam.
Right, Driving Juniors, yeah.
Right. And he said, they recorded the song and they took it with them. I think it would have been Duke Reed who recorded the song initially. And no, they recorded the song at Federal. And he said they took the song to a dance the same night, which was on a soft wax. And they sold it to Thunderbird Sound System. Now, by selling that song, I think he said they got about, what was it got? £15 or £20 he said he got for the song.
Was that right?
Yes. How did that compare with your time? Because it seemed as if in your time the studio was taking the song for themselves.
No, you see, Lollipop Girl was recorded during my time.
Right.
You know, I remember the song. But for them to do that, they would have to be the owner of the song and paying the musicians.
Okay.
You understand? Because I own the song, yes, but I never recorded for myself. I always record for a promoter. So I don't care about the musician getting paid. The promoter is the one that hires the musician. Like when I do session for whoever, Duke Reed, King Edwards, Coxon, you name it, they provide the musicians. I just provide the song. And so I get paid.
Just for reference and for emphasis, I want to just, because you throw out a lot of these names and the listeners may not be too familiar. King Edward would have been the owner of the sound system, King Edward the Jazz.
Definitely.
Right? And so a lot of the music at the time would have been largely being made for the sound systems of the day. Am I correct?
Not necessarily. It depends. Right. Because I remember you see, when they recorded, they started, I would think, recorded the song for themselves. But then somebody suggested that they can sell. They weren't pressing records initially. They were selling soft wax.
Right.
As we call it. Right? And soft wax doesn't last forever.
Don't last long.
No. But they would sell soft wax for up to £5. Depends. Right. Because I remember Humpty Dumpty, Monty Mars, Humpty Dumpty, that was going like at cake, £5 and £6. Because I used to sell some of it too. And then he came out with in and out the window, the nursery rhyme.
Right.
And then I don't know who suggests pressing, because Federal Studio was a studio that everybody recorded. And this was long before Studio One and Treasure Isle.
Right.
Because Federal's been there for from the 50s. And Federal developed a pressing plant. And they start to make stamper and press and so on and so forth. And that's how it started. But this started in the 60s, not in the 50s.
Right. So in the 50s, you were basically doing soft wax for the sound system.
Soft wax, yeah.
Okay.
But I would say we started late, like maybe 59. And then, because then again, in a year, you can do so many things, you will figure more than a year.
No,
We
I
do so many
recognize
things
that.
in 1 year. You know what I mean? You can do
Well,
so many things in 1 year.
In 1961, you connected with a young lady that went on to become one of Jamaica's biggest stars. And with this lady, you did a song that I know a lot of Jamaicans would not have been aware of. And this song was called We'll Meet. Now, most people know this is with Millie Small. And we're going to take a taste of Millie and yourself doing We'll Meet. Most Jamaicans know Millie for My Boy Lollipop and so on. We're going to talk about your relationship with Millie and some of the work that you did. God.
No matter where you run and hiding, I know we'll meet, yes we'll meet. I know your love for me is strong, dear. That's why we'll meet, yes we'll meet, we'll meet.
Over and over. That's for King and Edwards, eh?
And over and over.
Yeah. We'll meet. was done on a Coxsone session, but it was for this man on Orange Street, Robinson, a record shop on Orange Street. At the time, I didn't know.
Uh-huh.
And the funny thing about it, the musicians were getting restless in the studio. And Coxsone said to me, "You guys going and lived up the studio." We went to deal with me, one cut, and that was it. I remember Roland, one cut, and that was it. I remember Roland, Raymond Harper, Herman sang and keyboard, Jajeri and guitar, John Bago on drum. The guy I wanted to remember, I just did, Stanley, nicknamed Ribs. He played the heavy sax, mostly with John Bago.
Mm-hmm.
Ribs was his nickname.
You're talking about a lot of these names, became within a couple of years would have formed the Scatterlights. Around this time you're talking about, they were basically freelance musicians then working with the respective studios.
Yes, because as a promoter is going to do a session or a producer do a session, say tomorrow or the day prior to tomorrow or after tomorrow, I should say. It's like word of mouth because people don't have phone.
Right.
So man will say, if it's a Roland, tell him I'm looking for him, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. If you can't find Roland, you find somebody else. There's always a musician that you pick up to go to the studio. That's how it used to go. And the musician don't know what song is going to be recorded until everybody in the studio. Because the artist normally go over to the keyboard guy. Coxsone said, well, let me hear the song you're going to record. And you go over and you start to hum it. And the keyboard guy pick it up. Yeah. And then everybody kind of get around and they start to phrasing, and stuff like that. And that's how it worked. Back then, you never rehearse before you go studio with the band.
Again, Roy, because we take a lot of what we have or what has been established, and we take it for granted. A lot of these musicians, if I'm hearing you correctly, these are musicians who learn their music by the seat of the pants, not necessarily people who go to a music school. No.
Except for the guys that went
by ear.
Except for the guys that was in Alpha. The guys from Alpha. That's a different story. I'm talking about guys like Roland,
They went to Alpha.
Bennett, yeah. Right. I mean, Roland and Tommy are originally from Cuba.
Right.
They're Cubans, right? But they went to Alpha. And quite a few guys, Dan Drummond, and Johnny Moore, trumpeter. But not everybody went to Alpha.
Right. So a lot of these musicians then, well, we know the value of Alpha Boys School because we see that in terms of, as we said, the Scatterlights, a large tranche of the musicians that made up the Scatterlights came through the Alpha setup. But at the time, the studio band, because again, Scatterlights wasn't formed yet, but Tommy McCook, Roland and Falso, they were traipsing between. Well, in fact, they weren't even, because Coxsone never had a studio. Coxsone built his studio, if I remember correctly, would have been around 61, 62.
Up
62, 63.
Yeah. Coxsone studio was built probably mid-60s because even 61, 62 was still used Federal Studio.
Federal Studio, right.
And West Indies. Federal and West Indies. West Indies was owned by Seaga.
Eddie Seaga, right.
Eddie Seaga. And we, as a matter of fact, Ivan and I record more in West Indies studio than Federal. Because Ivan and
at the time, I'm told a lot of musicians from North America to vocalists as well. I know they were coming into Jamaica and on promotional tours. Again, a big part of that was courtesy of Seaga and his connections with places like Atlantic Records and so on. And because West Indies Records was a distributor for the foreign music that would have, started to find a place down here in Jamaica and in the the Caribbean. But a large part of these musicians, though, and that's the part that really we're trying to get some clarifications on, because they were playing, they play for Duke Reed over there, they play for Coxon, and they play for Kong, and then by 1963 another man came into the mix, would have been Prince Buster. And I know you also had some relationships with Prince Buster. What I'd love you to do is to sort of set the stage for us, for the listeners out there. You know, what would have been happening, because you have established your relationship with Millie Small. You guys did a fairly sizable volume of work. By this time, Millie is becoming known in the marketplace. I don't think Chris Blackwell would have discovered her yet. Lay the stage for us.
Please, Chris Blackwell, from what I understood, discovered her through Will Meet, because that song was like number one on RGR and JBC for quite a few weeks.
Right.
Now, at one point, Millie and I kind of split up. And then we got back together because of a show. And that's when she got the opportunity to go to England. I don't remember exactly what time it was, but I can tell you it was before 62, because in 62 we were on the Ray Charles show.
Ray Charles show?
Ray Charles show in 1962, when Ray Charles came to Jamaica.
Where is this show?
At the Sabina Park, not Sabina Park, at the up Mountain View there. What do you call it? The
stadium.
The stadium, right? The stadium.
No, the arena. I think the arena wasn't there at the same time. The arena came after the stadium.
It was stadium, because when Derek did the forward march, Independence thing, it was in the same stadium.
Right, 1962.
62 is when we did the Ray Charles show.
So was this show as a part of the commemoration of independence? Because that's
no.
thing we'd love you to sort of some clarification here, because you know we're 2022. This year we're 60 years, and it's one of the reasons why this conversation with you is so significant, Roy, because it is tying the two pieces together. We have 60 years of music. The ska is what we started out with, and I think God would be fitting that we play that song, that Derek Morgan song. I know Roy and Derek had a good relationship, and you know, we're on this independence thing. It would be only fitting. I'm sure you won't mind we take a little piece of your show, Roy.
No, definitely not. Forward March was the song that came
Tell us about that song in the meantime.
It came out to represent independence, because Derek was the first guy to sing, you would say, independence song then.
Right.
Yeah. Right. What? So I will say it.
Brothers and sisters, we're independent. Join hands to hands, children started to dance. We're independent. Won't be sad and blue. The Lord is still
Prince Buster, and
Yeah.
also with Derek Morgan. But I want us to focus first of all on independence. We're almost up on a break, but we want to talk about this 1962. Roy, set the stage for us. Jamaica is on the cusp of independence. The music is changing. What was the feeling like? You describe the environment both from a musical standpoint and the social?
Well, musical, as far as I can remember and relate, it didn't change anything for me. You know, basically, we were just doing the same thing, so to speak. Now, independence is something that we didn't know about because we never had independence before. We were always British subject. So this is something that was kind of a new experience for us. But it was a celebration, so to speak.
So the atmosphere though, there was from all the scribes. I was 5 years old, so my recollections are very, very fuzzy, if any at all. The impression you get is that there was a tremendous amount of anticipation. We're developing a new sound. The ska sound is coming in just around the same time. And what I've observed though is that the shift was very, 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 very subtle, because a lot of what you were playing, some of the songs you were singing, prior to this time were largely blues, and then there is a sort of a slight shift, which brings us to the ska. Explain that.
Yeah, well, ska came about, and it's hard for me to say who came with that sound. But I remember Easy Snapping, and I don't know if you're aware of that song, Easy Snapping.
Right. Yeah.
And that's one of the first songs I heard with the ska. You understand? Because prior to that, it was more twing, but that's one of the first songs I heard. I can only speak for myself with that rhythm or beat. The cha, cha, cha. So I would say ska came from that. Obviously, they took it and had it in the on, because prior to that, only the rhythm played the ska or the ha. And then somebody came up with the idea to add ons. The ska, not so much trumpet, mostly saxophone. And there used to be a guy, Campbell, what's his name, played tenor sax. He was considered this guy expert.